Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Community Spotlight, where from time to time I talk to groups or individuals around the Sonic and Sega community and their impact and work in the community. Today I have a one-off special, and I'm talking to Jeff McDonnell, also known in the communities as Vizard Jeffhog, and Bev Wooff, known as Rexy or Freqrexy on Twitter. And today we'll be talking about the upcoming Sonic Stadium Music Album 2013?
2012.
2012. I'm getting ahead of myself there. Welcome to the show, guys. Nice to have you here.
Thank you very much.
Problem.
So, obviously, we've got the new album coming out very soon, within this month, I believe.
Yep, that's right.
That's the idea. So, how about we start by you telling us how you came up with the original idea to get the community involved with last year's album, how that came about, and how you got the community involved with that.
Oh, let's see. Well, it's been quite a while ago, but though my idea of starting a Sonic Stadium music album came into mind not too long after I joined the site. How it started off basically was, I don't know, I've been listening heavily to OC Remix's Project Chaos, which I think Rexy took part of.
Yes, I did 3 tracks of that.
Yeah. And, of course, there's also, Hedgehog Heaven, then there's Tommy Tallarico's, Video Games Live concert series I'd have been to that year. And... Yeah, for the most part, it's the idea of an album just sort of muddled around in my mind. Then Freen and Green, Activa, he was posting a few of his tunes on the Sonic Stadium's Sonic Showcase.
Yep.
So that's when it clicked. Like, hey, you know what? We actually have quite a number of musicians here. So why not come up with an album of our own? So when I brought it up in the suggestions thread, suggestions sub forum, I guess it just took off from there. Really. The album went on from November until February, a bit like this one, except we started earlier. So, yeah.
Probably based off the success of last year's, I imagine.
Yeah. I couldn't believe that there was quite a few people who wanted a board on this one. I think we're about twice as many people as we are last year.
I think it's because you've allocated more time, right?
That too.
I mean, how many songs did we have on last year's album, and how many are you looking at roughly at this year's? I mean, bearing in mind submissions I've just finished.
Yeah, let's see. Last year we've hit about 45 songs with 16 different artists. This year we're about at 120 songs with 30 artists.
Wow, that's quite a fair chunk. So you're nearly at 3 times the amount of songs with double the artists.
Just about.
Wow, that's quite a thing. I mean, so obviously, this is obviously to both of you, since you are pretty much both musicians / remixers and everything else. I mean, how do you come from the idea of a basis of a song into fruition, into making it a remix, and then specifically, I don't know, for this album or the last album or just remixes in general?
Rexy, do you want to take this one?
Okay. Well, generally it's a little bit of a more unusual thing for me. I like to be able to remix tunes that end up having this strong emotional impact for me, and with this, I end up hearing the tunes, hearing how it gets interpreted within the game, and that's where the idea starts getting fleshed around. I've experimented with a lot of genres, so it's kind of easy to try and figure out exactly where to go. The hard thing is trying to make sure the execution turns out right, so I plan everything out on paper, write everything out as I go, and then hopefully that would end up with a great finished result. You know what I'm trying to say with this?
Yeah. You have your idea on paper, and then you extend it until you get to the finished product that you're after.
Exactly.
Yeah. Is that the same sort of thing you do, Jeff?
Minus the paper bit. Me, it's more muddling around on the piano one day. The next thing you know, idea. Basically, it can last between any time. I think about 2 weeks or maybe a couple of months, depending on the track.
Okay,
yeah.
That's pretty cool. So, I mean, we've talked about the concept, we've talked about the involvement, we talked about just generally how you'd come about making a remix of a song anyway. I mean, let's focus on last year's TSS album, the 2011 one.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I enjoyed the majority of the material that was on there,
Mhm.
there were a couple of bits of pieces that I think were a little bit weak. And I mean, my personal favourite itself was Disc 4.
Uh-huh.
And I mean, I think because I did a review on Emerald Coast for it back in the day,
Mhm.
and I specifically put in there that I'd like to have seen more original content. I mean, so obviously you had the one, the Metal Sonic one, I believe, was the original content piece on there. And there was obviously quite a very good amount of really good remixes. I mean, as I said, a lot of it on Disc 4 was personally a favourite of mine and a few others. I mean, how does one go along to making an original track based on that and stick it in an album like that?
Well, I don't know. If it just sounded Sonic-y to me, then I would have accepted it. Last year, we've had, well, yeah, as you mentioned, Alien Renegades, Mechanized Carnage, that Metal Sonic track you mentioned. And
Yeah.
and then Stereo Pixel, he also did a bit of a tribute to Sonic 4 through Sunshine Hill. I don't know.
Yep.
I mean, if it sounds Sonic-y, then I just took it in, really.
Fair enough. Also, I still want a full version of that piano interlude of What I'm Made Of. I still want a full version of that.
Yeah, who made that? I think that was Gregzilla, was it? Or let's see.
I believe
No.
so.
Let's see. Oh, it was
You'll be able to give
it
me
was
a better
Wilderness. It was Wilderness.
Wilderness. I still want a full version of that because it sounded amazing. It looked amazing. I can see music.
Something we should know.
Yeah, but what you also did last year is you had different artwork for each of the discs.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, was that outsourced, or was that actually part of the artist that helped to do it, or is that still more different people who couldn't give the musical artistic side and just did the artistry for it?
Well, the idea of a music album cover first came through the Sonic Stadium member, Dan J86. He just pitched in his own one day, and I thought, yeah, you know what? We need an album cover. So I thought about putting up a contest of some sort, just saying, okay, whoever submits some, and the best one gets chosen for the main thing. But we've had enough to split it down evenly, so I thought, you know what? Let's just distribute it all. Okay, disc 1 can have this one, disc 2 can have that one. It's just about the same thing this year, of course, with more people involved.
Fair enough. So you've basically saying that you've got the same thing with this year's album. I mean, you've got people submitting their own artwork as well for the discs.
Yep.
Oh, awesome. So, bearing in mind that we're looking at 3 times the amount of songs submitted, does that mean we have 3 times the amount of discs as well?
Maybe a bit more. I don't know. I might split it down to maybe 11 or 12 songs each, so that's possibly about 10 or 9 album covers. I don't know. I don't have an exact estimate for it now.
Okay. So, go back to last year's album. Did either of you have, I'd say a particular favourite might be a bit, pushing too much, because then somebody might say, oh, but I thought you really liked my one. So,
oh jeez.
let me just ask what general favourites you had. I mean, were there more outstanding ones than there were others? I mean, was it a general community feedback on like who preferred such songs and bits and pieces?
I don't know. I'm afraid I could get my ass handed to me if I say, okay, I like this song, but then everybody else will just scream and shout. It's not easy being the album head. Anyway, if I had to choose, a few of my standouts would be Freening Green's Unawakening Float, their own modern take on the piece. Flumegeist's Arc Annihilator, X-Shad's Crisis City, of course. Gregzilla, let's see. There's one that really, really. Oh, Conveyors and Spikes, and let's see. I don't know. I've had quite a few favorites. I can't exactly list them all down. Though I guess I'll just leave it there in case I get yelled at by anybody.
Rexy, you got any personal favourites?
Well, while I didn't officially take part in the album last year, I did manage to hear the album as I went along. I'm with Jeff on Plumbergeist's Arc Annihilator and Eggshad's Crisis City ones. Both of them were great personal favourites of mine. Also have to give a specific mention towards DJ Ear's We Fear the Light for Sandopolis.
Oh, yes.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, he ended up saying it went a bit rushed on his end, but it doesn't really matter to me. It's had the actual fear driven in towards the second act. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Those ghosts. I hated those things my first time around.
I mean, from a personal point, when the album actually came out, I then had one of my Operation Portsmouth meets like soon after, and not everyone that had come down had actually heard the album yet. And I had Sven down here at the point, and he was just yelling out tracks from the album just to call out while we were in the car. And,
I'll have to check that
out. DJ Ears, We Fear the Light was one of the particular ones. And I as I mentioned earlier, Disc 4 is quite a strong disc, and I mean, most of the songs you mentioned have been off that fourth disc.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think a lot of people are going back to, I mean, they can obviously see that disc is quite strong.
Yeah.
I mean, not to say that there's not good stuff on the other discs.
It's just that I say like the best for last sort of thing.
Yeah.
You know, like the grand finale.
Yeah. I mean, let's have a brief look at the album that's upcoming this year. Is there any particular ones that you think are going to really have a big standing in the community? Like, the ones that will really be pushed and people will go, I really like that track. And
Well, this year we've had, like I said, we have more people aboard now. So one of the biggest standouts would be the newcomer Joshua Taipale, or Taipal? I don't know, Taipale, I think. He's a wicked guitarist, I'll say that much. And I think what will stand out is not only the original tracks, but some of the remixes of fan game music, basically. I think we got two aboard. One of them by Josh. The other from another newcomer, the Symphonic Games. Really good stuff.
Right. Okay, that's good. How many of last year's people are back on for this year? Have you got everybody again, or is it more? Are you more looking at new people onto the project this year?
Well, we got almost everybody aboard. I don't know if Plumegeist or Revision 1 will be able to submit anything this year. They've been quite busy with their own projects. And Ecstaticus, I don't think he's aboard this year's either. I don't know. We've got a bigger newcomer concentration this time around since last album's success.
Fair enough. And as you said earlier, with double the people but 3 times the songs, how many songs are you looking per person? I mean, it obviously sounds like people have submitted multiple songs.
Yeah, we're looking at about maybe 5 or 6 a person. Though I'm definitely scaling back on that next year. Though not all of them aren't that much. I think it's about on average,
obviously so
4 or 3.
That's still quite a lot, though.
Yeah.
So I mean,
if I've scaled it back to 3, we could possibly be hitting 90.
No, that's fine. I mean, going forward into the following year, I mean, what sort of things do you want to clamp down on?
Let's see. Next year. Well, I'm kind of I'm really in favor of giving it the name the Sonic Stadium Music Adventure 2013 and Knuckles. I don't know, just to play on. Though I'll just say this much: there's going to be more to it than just the name. So it's not a joke in itself, though. So yeah.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is there anything you can spoil to us about what's coming out on this album?
Well, let's see. What can I talk about? Well,
I mean, I did see a tweet from you the other. Was it last week? I believe about you said that one song on this new album is like last year's Scrap Brain.
Yeah. Last year we've had a big concentration on Scrap Brain's 8-bit iteration. This time around, it is Flying Battery that takes the cake.
Oh god, Flying Battery. That ended up being one of the most common source requests on Sega Mixer Drive. I won't be surprised if there'd be a lot of that when I start going through the whole set as well.
Hey, you're going to have fun picking these ones out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, how many songs have you two personally put forward on this album?
Well, I don't know, since university took up a whole chunk of my time, so as of now, I was only able to work on 2. I'm a bit of ashamed of myself on that part. And Rexy, I think she filled it up. She filled up her 6 tracks.
I did,
6
yes.
tracks. Jesus. Okay. Do you want to give us one of each of the zones or songs that you guys have done so we can look forward to that? Or do you want to keep it kind of stum?
Well, I've attempted something that I have not seen being done on the web before. I've basically done a piano solo out of Dilapidated Way from Sonic Adventure.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. And,
Rexy, want to spoil anything? Or
Well, while a couple of my tracks are actually already streamable on my YouTube page, I can also say that at some points I did this is more kind of unknown, but you've seen my piano skills on Project Chaos, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Good
Well,
stuff.
I'm bringing it over to the theme of E102 Gamma from Sonic Adventure as well, and that is something that really hit home for me when I played it through earlier last year.
Yeah, that is a beautiful solo right there.
interesting. Okay. I think we're just about wrapping it up, really. I mean, is there anything that you guys want to talk about quickly that we haven't talked about so far?
Well, I guess I could give away the names of the people involved if you like.
Yeah, sure.
All right. So returning, we have Alien Renegade, Freenan Green, Blitz Chris, DJ Ear, of course, Forever Sonic. No, he wasn't there last year. Mike Blast Dude. Let's see. Sonic Sneakers. No, he was he wasn't the Sonic Paradox one. Stereo Pixel.
Yep.
And let's see some more here. Yeah, Urban Flow, me, Wolf Blur, and Xshad. And possibly Plumegeist and Revision 1. Newcomers, we have Azukara, who sort of handles a joke band called Toby McTire. Really funny. Let's see, Blue Wisp, Can of Nothing, Chunky Beef 31, Cosmic Truffle, Dizcribe, DJ Noeco featuring DJ Noeco and Sampling Masters, Fussy, let's see, General Offensive. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention Greg Zilla. He's back on board too. Yeesh, can't believe I forgot that. Joshua Taipale, Katamari Paradox, Marvin Valentin, Master Jace, Mr. Badger, Pulse Titan, Rexeljet, Serenity 7, Sonic Hyuga, Sonic Sneakers, Soniku XM, Sorem, Super Psy Guy, the Symphonic Games, and Two Worlds Unfold, and Worm, and Zach Kinchy.
That's quite a list.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah.
I hope a lot of other people are as well. Do we have a time that it'll be released yet?
I'd estimate...
Have you got a fixed date or?
Well, let's see. I'm expecting some sort of trailer within the next couple of weeks. The entire album will be streamed as is on the weekend of the 16th of February. Good thing I'll have the week off afterwards. And the album itself will be released on the week of the 18th. Possibly. That's
okay. I presume when you say it'll be streamed, it'll be on Sega Sonic Radio?
Yeah, that's the place, just like last time. And unlike last year, I will actually be speaking. There won't be any cuts or staticky interferences, I hope. So I'll have a stronger presence this time around.
Awesome. Are you going to have guests on during that period as well, or is it just going to be literally you just presenting the album?
Well, yeah, and I'm thinking about inviting a few people aboard every once in a while. I mean, Rexy, if you'd like, you can take part in this too.
Well, if it's winning when I'm around, then sure, I'll join in.
Yay! All right.
Get in.
Yeah. Hopefully I'll get my hands on Ativa this time. Ear, if he's up for it. I don't know. I guess I could just ask around, see like, hey guys, you want in? And they'll be like, yeah, sure, why not? Yeah.
Awesome. Sounds like fun. I'm looking forward to listening to the album, guys. As soon as it does come out, I mean, I'll obviously tweet it, and I'll possibly have another review going up on Emerald Coast, I imagine.
No.
Yeah. But I'd like to say a big thank you to my guests once again. Thank you, Mr. Vizard Jeffhog and Rexy.
Thank you.
So, I hope you all have a good day. Enjoy the album when it comes out. Good night.
Yeah, take it easy.
Thank you very much, sirs.